Hey, Andrew, what's up?
So my question is, how do I navigate life after a sudden divorce?
I don't know what happened.
I have a few paragraphs, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Or would you rather just go into it?
I mean, yeah, don't read all paragraphs, but just tell me the story.
Me and my wife got together in 2020. That's when we got married. I had trauma from a sexual assault that happened to me by a superior in the Army in 2018. And
I'm sorry,
before that, no, it's okay. Thank you. And then an abusive relationship before that. After I got out of the Army, I was abusing alcohol while I was in, secretly keeping porn from her. It got worse. Within the first year of marriage, I got out of the military. We moved in with her dad. As I was transitioning to civilian life, we both got civilian jobs. She eventually started sitting in her car with a coworker that was higher up than her, and told her to stop. She did, but kept doing it out of obligation.
Like just sitting in the car, like they were hanging out together a lot.
Yeah, she made it sound like they were just she was naive to his intention. She was a virgin when we got together, so I kind of gave her the benefit of the doubt.
Were you wrong?
Yeah. He had other intentions.
Yeah, and she did too.
Yeah.
Maybe not initially, but she did too.
Yeah, and I think it was definitely not my fault, but I did things that contributed, like neglect and abusing weed after the Army, and then lying about the porn. And so when I got a feeling something was going on, I came clean about half of my porn use, and I ended up catching her at his place. We ended up staying together. She said that they had just kissed, and
that wasn't true, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 2 months after that, she came clean and said it was more than that.
Sure.
And for right after that, I used porn as a kind of like to make up for what she did. I was like, okay, you're going to be okay with porn. And she had seen that as cheating before, like early in our marriage, before any of this. And
so bring me to now. Y'all just finally called it? Because this sounds like just a mess.
Yeah, so after that we went to therapy.
Okay.
Therapist kind of said, okay, that was sexual assault, because she tried to leave the 2 times that there was sexual assault, and the second time was at the workplace, and she said no, and he got aggressive with her.
Okay.
And so it leaned more towards that, even though she had put herself in the positions. And so with therapy...
I mean, sexual assault is sexual assault is sexual assault. I guess going over to somebody's house, hoping that it just goes halfway and not all the way. I mean,
yeah,
this whole thing is messy, but I want to always start with, if somebody gets sexually assaulted, you in the Army, her at the workplace, her with the boss, her with the power deck. I always want to start with, I'm going to sit with a victim first. Right. But what happened is what happened. Y'all reached a point where y'all just couldn't make this thing work.
Yeah. So it happened about 3 months ago, one of our last sessions in therapy. I pretty much said that I want a partner that's not going to care about porn, because I stopped wanting to go out in public, because I would look at people, she would get uncomfortable, we'd get distant. I was seeking therapy, trying to get help for it. And so we were living with her dad, who didn't hold any expectations for us, would do dishes for us, like all the stuff. I was getting VA money. So I was just isolating. She started going to the gym on her own. And one of our last sessions, I said that I want a partner that doesn't care so I can stop for me, because I didn't want to continue doing it. And she said she wanted me out of the house until I made a decision. And so I left and ended up intoxicated at a strip club. And I got a 10-minute lap dance, like at the end of the night. And the next day I told her I was going to stop everything cold turkey, and that I went. And I came back and everything started to go in the right direction. And then I showed concerns that I wanted to go to the gym with her again, and that I wasn't going to look at anyone. She said she liked her time alone, brought up a few other reasons. And then pretty much right after that, asked me the details of the strip club, almost to like distance herself emotionally. And so I shared honestly, and that I regretted it all deeply. And a week after that, we started to kind of do better. And I think she just felt an obligation to try to work through things, and ended up saying that the wounds felt too deep, and said she wanted like a month to think about everything. And it wasn't even like a week. And she served me papers at like the beginning of November.
Okay.
And that's about it.
So now, like, this episode will come out in January, but this is December. So Are you in like the 60-day, you're in Texas, so it's 60-day waiting period?
Yes, sir. So January 13th.
January 13th is the final day? Okay. And as far as you know, this is over?
As far as I know, she's not reaching out. I'm practicing even if she wants to hang out, better for me, to heal, probably not to try to talk to her at all.
Let me ask it this way.
Okay.
You're holding papers. They're in the 60-day period. As far as you're concerned, is this marriage over? I know she served you, and this isn't a judgment question. This just informs what happens next.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's given me no sign.
So, if there's a period at the end of this marriage, the question, how do you navigate a sudden divorce, is you put every ounce of energy you have into you getting well and you becoming somebody that you can hold your head up around.
Okay.
This entire story is a guy who does not see any value in himself. Some of that's because it was stolen from you through assault, through abuse. Some of that was because they told you that if you went to the military, that in and of itself would make you feel a certain way. And maybe it did. But then you left, and you left your brotherhood, and you left camaraderie, and you also left abuse, and you left everything. And now you're just sitting at home collecting checks. And you don't believe in you anymore. And so we're going to drink, we're going to outsource sex, not to our wives, but to strippers and to pornography, and we're going to smoke a lot. All you're doing is just every morning you get up and your alarms are going off, the ones that are supposed to keep you safe, the ones that are saying, dude, you only get one life. Make the most of it. And you're like, I can't today. And you climb up and you pull the batteries out. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And so how do you navigate a sudden divorce? You grieve like crazy because this isn't how you drew it up.
Yeah.
And you get real, real sad, and you devote yourself not to mindless, I will be a beefcake, but you're going to go exercise, and you're going to go see a counselor. And alcohol, weed, pornography, it's all Xanax. It's all a numbing device to keep you from being comfortable to keep you from experiencing the discomfort you feel of living in your own skin. How long have you not liked Andrew?
I guess I've been trying to figure that out.
Don't try to figure it out. Just answer it. You haven't liked you for a long time.
Probably like maybe second grade. I remember a teacher dumping my desk out in front of all the students because I was hiding papers back there.
Okay. And just that embarrassment and the shame and the isolation all by yourself? So tonight, I want you to write a letter to that second grade you. And I want you to tell second grade you that shouldn't have happened. And it wasn't your fault that you got embarrassed and ashamed. You're just a second grade little kid hiding papers. And that teacher should have treated you with more dignity. And I want you to make a commitment to 35-year-old Andrew that I'm not going to descend and become one of the millions of unmarriable men in this country.
Yeah.
But I'm going to develop a purpose. What do you want to do, man? Let me ask, that's a stupid question. Who do you want to help in this world? You can help people by being a plumber. You can help people by being a professor. You can help people by being a surgeon. You can help people by being a roofer. The job, I don't care. Who do you want to help?
I actually want to do some type of YouTube channel where I go to like parks, city parks, or colleges and ask people questions like, what's your happiest memory? What's the most painful thing you've been through? And just share people's stories. Okay.
So that has a success rate of 2%. I just made that number up. I like it. I pay all my bills with YouTube show, so I'm not anti that. But most YouTube people I see that are successful have built upon years of practicing. That's not everybody. There's some people who just show up, right? But how would you become good at interviewing? How would you become good at storytelling?
By trial and error.
Okay. How are you going to do that?
Start researching, learning video editing, media marketing, that kind of stuff.
That's the production side. Here's what I'm trying to get you to do. I want you to be very granular and very specific about what your next steps are. What courses do you need to take? Do you need to go take some classes on how to sit with people who are hurting? What are you gonna do when one of them says, "Well, my happiest moment was the day after my dad passed away," and then, like, you know what I mean? Then now you're in it, right? So, what's the outcome? If you have a YouTube channel where you tell people stories about their happiest moments, what does that get you?
I guess just a sense of sharing that with other people, maybe that need to hear it.
Keep going. Who needs to hear that?
Someone like me.
Keep going. What do you need to hear?
That despite all of people's crazy stories, that they're still there in front of whatever camera I got.
Okay, I want you to remove the camera because you just said something profound to my friend Andrew. You can't give an audience what you don't have.
I see.
And I want you to first believe that there is life after tough stuff. And you going and reflecting everybody else's journeys isn't going to heal that hole that's inside your chest right now. You're going to have to sit down and decide, I'm worth the work that it's going to take to heal the abuse, what I saw during my military service, my loneliness, my failed marriage, my rubbing my wife's nose in it, her cheating on me, all those things. I got to work through those things and not dwell on them and live in them, but I got to process them and get them out of my body so I can get on to the next stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't want you chasing for other people what you're trying to give yourself.
Rush into it either. I know that. Yeah.
But here's what I hear you also say. That you want people to have a little bit of a better day.
Yes. Yes.
That when people get their head down or when the world knocks the wind out of them, you want there to be a path for them to see, no, that's just today, but tomorrow could be better. And that's where I want you to consider using some of that VA money, and I want you to go consider becoming a counselor, even if it's just an addictions counselor, which is just a 2-year program. I want you to become skilled in sitting with hurting people.
Okay.
And in the process of doing that, and dude, that might be, I learned working at Burger King that like it took 15 seconds for me when I was 17 years old taking an order that if I said, they would walk up to the register and they would just look straight at the menu. They wouldn't even make eye contact and be like, oh, number 1 with no cheese. And I'd go, oh, hey, how are we doing today? Fine. No, really, how are we doing? And they would drop their shoulders and make eye contact with me. And it was almost a snap back to humanity. And I realized, it takes about 15 seconds to plug in with somebody, to make somebody's day, to make them feel a little bit more human again. Or it takes 15 seconds to just completely blow by and let everybody pass each other in the day into the night. And so whether you're being a plumber, whether you're being a counselor, whether you're learning how to be in the presence of hurting people, you have a gift, and that gift is you want to see other people have a little bit better day than after they've met you than before. That's amazing. Very few people have that desire. But that means you got to go get some skills. You got to learn how to do that. And you've got the VA money, and as a taxpayer, I'm happy to support your secondary education. Why don't you go get trained in how to do that? And along the way, if you start listening to stories and you start to realize, oh, there's a thread here. I could record this and put this on YouTube. That would be amazing. And along the way, I think you're going to find Andrew. You're going to realize Andrew's worth a little bit better day too.